the Buffalo Schools program, that was recognized, okay, as far as wanting the city overall to do well, and not just those prime contractors or those prime companies, but those small businesses, those women-owned and minority businesses.
Right.
And so keeping that in mind, why don't we talk about those issues as it pertains to the schools program? I know out in the community sometimes there's information, some is correct and some isn't correct, about our goals. Now the city officials set goals, diversity goals, right at the very beginning for us. And they are, I believe, for minority and women workforce is at 25 and 5%?
No.
Is it 23?
It's 23 and 7.
Okay.
For workforce, and it's 25 and 5 for business utilization.
Correct. Now, before we go any further, explain to the community the difference between the two.
Okay. Actually, I'll go back a little further for you, because when LP Simonelli was in the process of writing the diversity agreement for the RFP that they were submitting to the Joint School Construction Board, what my company's charge was to write that actual affirmative action agreement.
So you know firsthand.
Yes,
okay.
I do know firsthand. Because what we did, we didn't look at it from a percentage standpoint. What we looked at was a dollar value. So we raised those goals to 25 and 5 for business utilization. And what that means is, on any given contract that a majority company gets, whether black or white, but the majority of them are majority white, 25% of that contract has to go to a minority-owned business. They can split it up in 2 or 3 companies, and 5% has to go to a WBE, which is a women business entity.
Right.
That's what that means, business utilization.
Okay.
So, and then in the process, not only do they go from the business utilization, when they go out and actually perform the work, 23% of that has to be minority.
And you know what, just to interrupt, I'm glad that we did recognize the fact that there are a lot of numbers and it can get confusing.
It can.
Which is why I really want to get this point across to the community. We understand that there can be confusion, but right now we're going to, bring clarity.
Right.
Okay. Okay, so continue.
All right. So what else do you want to know?
Okay, we were talking about the differences between the utilization and the workforce.
Right.
Okay. Now that we've basically got that out, let's talk about your role as compliance monitor. Okay, as you go to each project site, what is the role of the compliance monitor to ensure that the numbers that you report are correct?
Well, I guess the best thing to do at this point is talk about the entire process.
Okay.
We're going to go from A to Z.
Yes.
It actually starts with pre-bid meetings, where companies, majority and minority, are invited by LP Simonelli to talk about a specific school or project. They talk about the utilization of the numbers, and then I get up and then I give them some information as far as the compliance monitor. I tell them what those numbers are. The majority have been on the project for 5 to 7 years. We see repetitively, some of the same companies coming back. So they know what they are.
Right.
But it's my job to make sure that I reiterate to them, we're still doing these numbers. You have to have 25% minority participation, 5% women, 23% minority on workforce, and 7% women as far as workforce is concerned. What I try to do from the very beginning, as I tell them, is if you are having issues, I am here to make sure, as a preventative measure, we don't run into problems later.
Exactly.
Because that's my job, to help you.
Right.
So they all get that. I give them my phone number and we go from there. From that process, bids are put in by these companies. They put in their bids, and then there's a bid opening, that is pretty much privately held by Simonelli. The architectural firm may be there, and, the compliance monitor, myself. And in those bids, they're required to put in what we call DDP-1s.
Yes.
Now, a DDP-1 is a form that tells you who they intend to use on that project based on the dollar value and what amount and what the scope of work will be.
Okay.
From there, we go, and whoever wins, they have to submit a DDP DDP2. And the DDP2 has to match the DDP1. You can't say on one form, well, company ABC is going to do site work, and then on the DDP2 say that this company is going to do plumbing.
Right.
It doesn't work that way.
Exactly.
You know, whatever you're certified in, and whatever you said on this one form is what I expect to see on this one as well.
Right.
Yeah, and then there's a certification process. They can be certified either by the county, the state, or the feds. And it has to be within a date range for that project. So don't send me a certification and the project is in 2010 and yours expired in 2009.
Right.
That's not going to work.
Right.
And it has to be for your specialization of services.
Okay.
Okay, from there, then the project begins. A date is set, people go out to the site, and they start working.
Okay.
So from there, we have compliance monitors that show up on a regular basis. And no one really knows when they come because I make sure that the monitors come out on different days. Because part of the requirements of the prime is to submit certified payrolls to us. And from those certified payrolls with the monitor out, what we do is match up.
That's right.
That payroll with what they're saying is out on the site. Now, if in fact we start to run into issues where we're consistently seeing that a company is not making making the numbers, we need to find out why. So in those meetings, they have what they call project meetings. We come in, what's the problem? Well, we're going to get our numbers up. They'll say something like, we're going to get our numbers up, we're going to do this. If in fact we see that's not happening, we send out a letter because they need to put together a plan and say how you're going to do this. Because you said, based on taking this contract, that you were going to make a concerted effort to make this happen. And if you can't do it, then that's why we're here to help you.
That's right.
So that's pretty much how the compliance process goes.
Wow. Lots of checks and balances.
Yes. It's pretty much like construction police.
All right, Rhonda, why don't you just give our viewers some lasting words about any type of information that they should know as it applies to compliance monitoring?
Well, I know that it can seem to the community that it could possibly be a convoluted process because there's reams and reams and reams of paper. But one of the things that we've begun to do in our reports that we give to the Joint School Construction Board, not only is it quantitative, it's also qualitative.
Right.
So that you have a clear understanding, and you can read what's going on besides just looking at these numbers. And the transparency is very important. We have to report to the Joint School Construction Board on a monthly basis what is going on in this project. And if there is confusion in anyone's mind in the community and they want to learn more, those meetings are the first Monday of every month.
That's right. And
we're there
Yep.
to answer those questions for you.
Yes, yes. Okay, well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This has cleared up, hopefully, a lot of, I don't want to say misconceptions, but, that's what it really can be. It can get to that. And I appreciate your candidness, and just the way that you explain the process because, it can be a little confusing. It can be confusing. So thank you.
Thank you.
And it's always great to see you.
Great to see you. See you in another 2.
You got it. Well, that's our show for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'd like to thank all of my guests, Kyle Jamison and Rhonda Ricks. Thank you so much. Don't forget we are on YouTube. Go to youtube.com, type in LP Simonelli Inc., and there you'll be able to view all of our past and current shows. If you're a Facebook member, look for our Facebook page, LP Simonelli's Making It Happen, and become a fan. All of your questions and comments can be posted to our Facebook page, or you can call our hotline, area code 716-218-4698. Also, you can email me, mih@lpsimonelli.com. Thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, let's keep making it happen.